Hello, everyone. Welcome. Today is Tuesday, December 27th, 2022. I am Solid Blue Sister, and this is My Turn to Talk. And to everyone over on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Spotify, wherever you get your streaming, welcome. And to everyone over on Podbean, as always, welcome. Hey, Frankie. Hello, Kainaki. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. Welcome. Hey, Shelby. And to everyone who's over on TikTok, if you see me looking away, it's because I'm looking at my camera on my laptop because I am streaming to other platforms. Hey, Crazy, welcome. But if you do want to join the discussion, you'll have to come over to Podbean, or you can just listen. But if someone joins the panel, you will not be able to hear them on TikTok what we are talking about. So I do invite you to come up to over to Podbean, podbean.com. Shelby, I will pop you up in a moment. Well, thank you, Crazy. I appreciate it for popping on over. And this is the last show of the year for me, guys. I'll be traveling, and I won't be back until next week. Hey, Blunt Ninja, welcome. Joe Lethio, welcome. Okay, Chiliquinza, if you want to go live with me, you're going to have to come over to Podbean. I'm not doing lives on TikTok. Podbean.com. Hey, Crazy Lady, welcome. Then you guys can hear the music and everything over that I'm playing over on Podbean. Or you can go to YouTube and you'll hear, or any of the other streaming platforms, and you'll be able to hear it. So welcome, everyone. So today, my last show of the year, I wanted to talk about those of us who didn't make it. Everyone didn't make it in 2022 for whatever reason, either by natural causes, by killings, by whatever, be it an illness. Some of us did not make it. And I just want to take the time to just say that no problem, Chiliquinza, but I will say, once again, if someone comes up on to the Podbean platform, you're not going to be able to hear them. But thank you for listening. So, yeah, I just wanted to say that, for whatever reason, some of us did not make it, even though we have a couple more days left and we will lose more people. We need, again, to take the time to appreciate the people who are still here. And the ones that didn't make it, we need to appreciate their memories. And this is where I was saying in a previous show about photo albums and why I personally think photo albums are so important. I'm not talking about selfies on your phone or anything like that. I'm talking about turning those selfies into photos. Go to Walgreens, wherever you got to go, get the prints done. I mean, there are pros and cons to both, but when you look through a photo album, and again, this is just me reminiscing, because I look through my photo albums all the time. And I see people who are no longer here. And sometimes it makes me laugh. Sometimes it makes me cry. Sometimes it pisses me off. But every one of us, all of us are not going to make it. 1 year, it'll be our turn where we don't make it through the entire year. Even if we pass away on December 31st at 12:59 p.m., one day it will be our turn when we don't make it. And I would like to think that there's at least one or two people who appreciated me. Everyone's not going to. Everyone doesn't like everyone. But it would be nice if at least one person had some appreciation for your time here on earth, be it a family member, be it the man that you see every day or every whatever when you go to the market to buy food. Just one person. And we need to truly appreciate the things around us, because we go through our day-to-days. We all do it. I know I do it all the time. And you just don't appreciate things. It wasn't until I moved out to California that I really started to appreciate nature. I mean, it sounds silly, but every day when I go out, I'm walking my dog, I get a big kick out of the fact that I'm looking at mountains that now they have snow on them, but in the summer and spring, they have, it's green. I get a kick out of the fact that, I'm looking at these flowers that are blooming full bloom in December. I get a kick out of that. And you say thanks to God, thank you for giving me another day. But for the ones who didn't make it, especially if they're older, especially if they're the elderly, whatever you may think elderly is. Some people think elderly is when you're 50, 60, 70, 80, whatever you think the elderly is. Those are the people that you really need to appreciate. Those are the people that you need to, in my opinion, this is all my opinion, that you need to ask questions, talk to before they're gone. Because when they're gone, the stories are gone. I had a great aunt that lived to be 97. And I used to always, we used to stay on the phone for hours. She passed away about 7 years, 5 or 7 years ago. We used to stay on the phone for hours, and I used to just talk and just mainly asking her about my grandmother, because my grandmother passed away when my mom was born. So I never got to know my maternal grandmother, but I knew she was a dancer. I knew, just from photos and everything, but those photos were limited. My great grandmother, when she was still living, even though I was little, I can still remember stories that she told. So the people who are still here, we need to appreciate them, because one day they may not be on their deathbed from cancer or whatever else. They just may go to bed one night and say good night to you. You're up in the morning making breakfast, and you're wondering, oh, they're sleeping late. Well, in reality, God came and took them home. So I don't want to, be down for anyone. I don't want this to be a show where, we're, talking about dead people or anything. in a way where it makes people sad, because we should be happy that they were a part of our lives, especially if they're people that we really love. So I see what you just said, crazy. Thank you, crazy lady. So okay, and crazy lady said, well, my didn't make it. It was not 22. I'm assuming you're referring to Alex. And crazy says, tired of gathering at funerals. I love the old pictures I have, because their stories, exactly, crazy lady. Their stories are our history. Blunt says that's true. Once they leave, the stories are gone too. So sad. I was fortunate to live with my great grandmother for a few years. I wish those that pass without pain. Hey, Juju, welcome. So that's what I'm saying. Anyone who's over on TikTok, if you want to join us over here, that's fine. But you will miss some of the back and forth. So I just really, or you can go over to, as someone said, you can go over to YouTube or Facebook or one of the other streaming platforms. Okay, and Crazy Lady says, my mom, my daughter, and half brother, that is all that is left. And Crazy Lady also says, Alex, my dad, my brother, most of my family is gone. Hey, Chat Lady, welcome. So I'm just saying that be appreciative of those who are already here, and maybe live our lives where people can appreciate us, because as I said, one day we're going to be that person that didn't make it. And Crazy says, tired of gathering at funerals. Well, unfortunately, for some people, they go to several in a year, sometimes in a month. It all depends upon what your life is like, your lifestyle, the people that are around you. But the bottom line is, if you believe in God or a higher being, it's not up to us. So again, I just say in 2020, 2022, some of us didn't make it. And the ones that are still here going into 2023, maybe appreciate them a little bit more. And the ones that you don't, I mean, I have people that I don't appreciate at all. People that have come and gone in my life. It's like, okay, those are the people I'm putting aside, and I'm not going to worry about them. Because the way I see it, God gave me a job to do, and that is to live my life the best that I can. So on that note, Shelby, I know you wanted to come up, so hold on a minute. Let me pop you up here. Thank you. I'm sorry. Juju made a comment to me about TikTok. I was just saying thank you. Pruspo, welcome. So, Shelby.
Yes, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. I have a question first. Does it necessarily have to be within this year?
No, I was just saying that for 2022, I was just saying that some of us didn't make it. But if you want to make a comment about someone not in this year, by all means, yes, go ahead.
We had my father-in-law passed away 6 years ago, and it has put a major strain on our family. And I miss him a lot because he became a father figure to me at the last 2 years of his life. We didn't get along there at the first. We fought like cats and dogs, so to say. But at the last 2 years of his life, he really, he took up for me. He stood up for me. He was someone I could talk to and get advice from. But it's a raw situation right now in our family, even after 6 years.
Well, I will say that I am sorry that that his passing has put such a strain on the family, and that you're missing him so much. But this is what I mean when I say that there are people in your life that you need to appreciate them while they're here.
Right.
Because they will go, and some passings will hit us harder than others. I know people have passed away in my life that it's like it hits you like a ton of bricks.
Exactly.
But there are other people, and this may sound cold to some people, but when people get up in age and they're in their 90s, 80s, 90s, whatever, and they pass away, for me, unless it was something of a hard death, like they were sick or their life was taken from them. But if they pass away in their sleep, they live to be in their 90s. And you guys hear me all the time say, I wish I could live to be 100. That's where I want to make it to be. I want to really, really, really want to make it to be 100. Even if I die on my birthday, I want to make it to be 100. But while the people are here, the people who, if someone is that much of part of the family, like for Shelby, those are the people who, in my opinion, you go to get those stories, the ones you go to talk to, and some of us are lucky. Some of us are lucky that we've had stories that have been passed down. I mean, in my family, we have stories that are passed down. Like I said before about the photo albums, my sister and I, we used to, every time my mother had a camera in our face. But years later, all the albums, and I mean the albums that we have, that my sister and I have, I mean, tons of them. I kid you guys not. Photo albums galore. Of not just of us, but people who came before us. And on the back of every photo, it's a date, who it is, and where they were. And I do the same thing with my photos. When I take pictures, if I have them on my phone, I'm at Walgreens making prints. Always double. And I'm putting them in that photo album. Now, people say, oh, well, if there's a fire, flood, whatever, photo albums are gone. True. This is true. But we're remembering the ones who did not make it. So Shelby, I have to ask you, and Black Cabinet, thank you for being patient. I am coming over to you, Shelby. So I have to ask you, do you have any photos, or do you ever remember with laughter as opposed to sadness?
We do have photos. We have photos everywhere in our home, because he was, of course, my husband's dad. Um, and I have several moments of laughter with with that man. And I also have several moments of, oh, I just want to smack that man. you know, but yes, we just, on both questions, yes, yes.
Well, Shy Lady wants to know, what do you think made him change towards you, if you don't mind me asking?
He was the one really that pointed out to my husband about my mental illness.
Okay. Okay. All right. And Crazy Lady says, I remember the dead on their birthday and Memorial Days. I celebrate, have a drink in their memory. And and again, it's interesting because I don't know if this is a culture thing, but I have gone to funerals. I've been to funerals with Asians. I've been to funerals with with white people, with black people, with Latinos. Um, but when you go to a black funeral, yes, there's sadness, but there's a lot of laughing, joking. There's a lot of remember when, you know, because it's you, you remember the good things. So, Black Cabinet, welcome. Thank you for being patient. And welcome Sharon Fleming over on TikTok. You guys, people are joining the panel. So if you do want to hear what they're saying, you're going to have to come over to podbean.com, or go over to YouTube or Facebook, and you will be able to hear the conversation there. Black Cabinet, welcome.
Hello, how you doing, Solid?
I am good. I am good.
Great to see you. This is a great conversational discussion, and I think we all have seen or dealt with the passing of a loved one in different ways. Different cultures have different ways of knowing of how to deal with people that passed on. If we all remember the movie Amistad, where they had a person that had passed away, and they wanted to bury him, they just didn't want anyone to take him away because in Yoruba, they believe that they all have to be there to watch the person go into the ground because that's what allows their spirit to continue to live. And so, for me, and I think it's very honorable or admirable of you to say you want to live to your 100. Um, I always say I want to live till um, till my life happiness of living isn't a burden on anyone else or myself. In other words, I want to be able to continue to use all my motor skills. But the minute I'm a burden to my children or grandchildren or whoever is taking care of me, I hope I can go sometime in my sleep and start making my journey throughout the ancestral realm. Uh, just because I just never want to be a burden on anybody, and I think quality of life means a lot.
You bring up a very good point, because I definitely don't want to be a burden on my kids, and my situation is kid one. you know, um, because by the time I'm 100, they're going to be older. But I just want, for me personally, I just think that 100 is just a nice round number to go out on. And if I am anything like my parents, um, my mom, 86 years old, living by herself, sharp as a tack. You couldn't get anything past her, over on her, anything. And that's how I want to be. You know, um, when I turned 40, I started, people may laugh at me, but I started doing memory exercises, because your brain is something that you have to exercise, not just your body, but your brain is a muscle. But yeah, Black Cabinet, you make a very good point. Crucible, I tried to catch you if you wanted to pop up. Oh, you are here. Okay. So yeah, um, Black Cabinet, not to be a burden, but if you could live forever, would you want to?
Well, I think because none of us truly knows the answer, what is waiting for us on the other side, and we know it's on this side. Of course, I would love to live forever. That I mean, immortality, everlasting life is something that we all would love. But I also think you live forever in the thoughts and minds of your loved ones. So I'm hoping that I make such an impact, not just to the people of this world, but also the families to come, that they're pleased with me, and I can become as powerful as an ancestor as I am in life. I think living forever is if you want to talk about in this fleshly body, breathing, live forever. Yeah, I would love to, but being actual practical, I would love for my thoughts and for my actions to live forever through the next generations. To remember that I started something, and that my kids can talk to their children, and their children talk to their children about a great man named Lloyd. That's my first name, a great man named Lloyd, and my ideologies and things that I passed down can live forever. So yes, in that way, I love to live forever. But in this mortal body, if this body did not age, if things did not sag all the way, and things were able to stay where they're supposed to stay at, of course, I love to live forever. But we don't know what awaits us on the other side.
Okay. And before you came on, I did say that, I would like to have at least one person or two um, appreciate me, when I am gone. And talking about the ancestors, I would like, when I'm gone, or even now, that the ancestors are looking down on me and saying, "You're doing a good job," because we have to pass this on. We need to pass it on. I'm glad that that I have a son that I can pass this on to. So, Crucible, welcome.
Hi, Solid. Hi, everyone. Yep, Black Cabinet makes some very good points. As I've gotten into my older years, I change my mind almost on a daily basis as far as how long I want to live. Um, I have currently a very elderly aunt. She's 98 years old. I went to visit her about a month ago in her assisted living facility. I had an uncle who passed away a couple years ago. He was 95. Um, I'm not going to say their quality of life was poor. They were in good health. Their lives seemed very empty. And when we talk about living forever, we kind of our minds are only capable of extrapolating out in our current condition, like Black Cabinet was saying, things are going to sag, your body's not going to hold up, your mind might not hold up. So we tend to look out into the future. I want to live forever exactly as I am today, but we don't live exactly as we are today. We age and things break down. But I think what has struck me by watching a couple of my elderly relatives age and then pass away, and I've spoken to both of them, neither one of them, so these are probably what you'd call extenuating circumstances, but these are not isolated circumstances. Neither one of them had children. One of them did marry. They have dozens, not dozens, but several nieces and nephews that they were close to. But when I talk to them, when I look at them, all their siblings have been gone for a long, long time. Most of their friends they grew up with are gone for a long, long time. The friends that they've met at the assisted facility, places like that, yes, they're friends, but they're not the lifelong friends that you've built bonds with and shared experiences with. So when I think about aging and living until 100, I very much get down to the nuts and bolts of it. It's a very ephemeral thought to live to be 100, but we don't live in the ethereal or the ephemeral. We live in the real world. And when you can't walk, my aunt, I'm not going to get into a whole personal thing with her, but she hasn't been able to leave the assisted facility for 7 years. because she can't go up and down stairs. So she is entirely and completely dependent upon somebody coming by her place, putting her in her wheelchair, and pushing her around the parking lot. That's her access to the outside these days. So again, that's a little bit of a grim picture, and I don't mean to bring everybody down, but when I think personally about living to be 100, the quality of life goes down, your physical and mental abilities go downhill. So I'm kind of wondering, and this is not a personal question to you, Sal, because you and I have had this conversation. What is it about living to 100 or 95 or whatever the number is? What is the magic around that if you're not in good faculty, good health, or have good people around you? And that, again, is not an uncommon situation. A lot of people face that. So what is the magic around that number if your quality of life is poor?
Well, for me, as I said, 100 just seems to be just a nice round number to go out on. But I don't look at it like that. And we have had this conversation. I don't look at life as as you get older, the glass is half empty. I always look at life, and I approach life as if the glass is always half full. And for my family, even though, I have cousins and people that, I haven't talked to in years, the people that I do have around me and the family that our family, they do tend to make it into their 90s. People are not in poor health. My parents, walk 2 miles every day. And even when my father passed away, my mother was still walking. Your quality of life is what you put into it. And you don't have to be 90 years old to sit at home and be lonely. You can be in your 40s sitting at home and being lonely. I know people, and I know of people who are in their 20s and 30s and they never go outside. So when you say quality of life, just because your body is breaking down, so what? So what your body's breaking down? So what that you're not moving as fast as you were before? So what if somebody has to, you're dependent on somebody to help you into your wheelchair? But if I can get up every day and embrace life and be happy, whether or not I'm crawling to that wheelchair or just laying in bed, my quality of life is fine. I am blessed just to wake up every morning. And every morning I do say, thank you. Thank you for giving me another day. So my quality of life and my life is always half full, never half empty. Because the people who think of life as half empty, they're going to die, in my opinion, they're going to die with their feeling that they miss out on something. And as far as I'm concerned, from where I'm sitting, standing, wherever, breathing, I haven't missed out on anything. And, the ones that don't make it, I think about them. The ones that do make it, I try to have a meaningful relationship with them. But if they choose not to have a meaningful relationship with me, okay, that's fine. But as I age, if I live to be 110 and all my teeth have fallen out and my, back is bent over, whatever, I'm still going to be thankful that I'm here. I'm still going to be thankful, even if all of my family has passed away. If the little girl across the street comes over every day and says good morning to me, that's something that you should be thankful for. So, Crucible.
No, and I don't disagree with any of that stuff. And I'm a little bit on the personal side with this because I see some similarities between my life down the road and my two elderly relatives that I referred to. But I do agree with you. You do have to make an effort. I have been trying to do that as I get a little bit older in my friendship circle. I mean, I'm just personal note. I do not have children. Obviously, I'm not going to have grandchildren. And my friendship group, it has sort of splintered. I make an effort to keep in touch. I make an effort to make phone calls. I suggest getting together, and it's a lot of lip service. But all of these people are married. Many of them have children. And as I've learned, as a lot of us learn as we get older, the friendships do fray a little bit, but the family bonds tend to strengthen. And I don't blame any of my friends. If I were them, I'd spend time with my kids and my grandkids as well. Your kids are adults. Now you have a different bond with them. You have a different friendship. You have a different dialogue. They're more your friends than your children. I see all of that. And I realize that is an extremely critical component to quality of life down the road. But in the absence of that, I don't throw the towel in and say, well, that's just the way it is. My life's going to suck. I put the effort in. I spend more time with my nieces and nephews. I'm trying to spend a little more time with the very, very, very little ones that are, I'm not even sure what my relation to them is. I guess I'm second or third cousins. I have no idea. But I'm trying to embrace that, not just for selfish reasons, so they'll come and push me around the parking lot someday, but I really want those family bonds that I don't have outside my family. My friends are good people, but the effort's not there. I get it. I'm realistic about it. I'm not mad about it. It's given me an opportunity to step back and say, okay, what's plan B? And, I'm trying to work on plan B.
Well, and effort comes on both sides. Effort comes on both sides. Everyone can't be the one doing the work, sitting around waiting for somebody else to do something. So that comes on both sides. Shelby, I'm going to make the rounds back over to you, and then I'm going to pop. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Let me pop over to Crazy Lady really quick. Crazy Lady.
It's like this way I look at it is, I personally try to live my life day to day, the best I can, and reach out, to those people that you love and care, and let them know that you love and care, because, like you said, you never know when something's going to happen. Stephanie, I love you. I love you too, Mama. My mom's here, right here. And I hopefully make an impact in like Austin. I call him my son, but he's not, but I made an impact in his life, and it's like, you never know where your life, how you'll make an impact to someone else, because a drop of water makes a tidal wave across the world.
Okay. Shelby.
I think that, we need to keep memories alive every day, even if, for my children, they weren't young, but they weren't really teenagers yet. I guess they were teenagers, but, they keep him more alive for me than I did for them. We talked about him a lot. We still talk about him, because we bring up memories about him, so I mean, it's a mutual thing for all of us.
It is, and for me, I will admit, I go through my cleaning house thing like every so often. It's like, you want to maintain meaningful relationships with people who put in the work. And I don't mean, they're loaning you money, they're letting you drive their car or anything like that. I'm talking about, it's a mutual thing. Because one day, as I said, you're going to wake up, that person's not going to be there. You may feel sad, maybe, You may feel regrets, maybe. But one thing you cannot do is go to that person and say, hey, you want to go get coffee, or hey, I'm calling you just to, see how you are or whatever, because they're going to be gone. You won't be able to do that. So that's when I come back and say, appreciate people and the things around you, because one day they'll be gone. And there are not even people, as silly as it sounds, and y'all know how much I love dogs, whatever. I mean, even my dog, sometimes I look at them, and I look at the oldest one, and I'm like, if something happens to him, the middle one is really, 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 really going to be sad. And it's interesting because I've seen, again, I'm going from people to dogs, but I've seen, people who have had dogs in their homes, and one of the dogs passed and the other dog just goes into this depression. And sometimes they don't come out of it and they don't make it. Or they're constantly walking around the house looking for their buddy. And as silly as it may sound to some people, that's what some people are going to do. If you don't try to put forth the effort, where you're always expecting someone else to do something, that person's going to be gone. When you're, standing in the middle of the street, and or on the sidewalk or whatever, and you want to pull out your phone and you just want to take a quick photo, take it. That might be the last photo that you ever take of that person. Take advantage of opportunities. We all have opportunities that we let go every single day. I know I have opportunities that I let go every single day. And I'm not talking about business stuff. I'm talking about just living, just life. We all want to say, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next year. I'll do it then. I'll do it that. And you never do. So I'm a list person. I have to make lists to make sure that I'm doing what I said that I was going to do. I don't like putting stuff off. I don't want to keep putting stuff off. I don't want to always have an excuse for not living my life, because one day you will be that person, possibly, not everybody, that's being pushed around in a wheelchair. I don't want to be that person. If you can travel, if you can afford to travel, do it. Do it while you still can walk around and see the statues or the lakes or whatever. Do it. Appreciate people and things around you. Because I appreciate so much. I appreciate you guys. I really, really do. You all don't have to come to my podcast. You don't have to do that at all. I appreciate the fact that you all show up. Because if you didn't, I'd be here sitting here talking to myself. For Shy Lady and Juju, when I first started, you all have been with me from day one, when it was just us. And y'all hung in there with me. I'm not somebody with, 700,000 followers or anything. But the people that do follow me, the people who do show up, I appreciate you. very, very much. Woody, welcome. And that's why, I make a point of welcoming you guys into my show. If I'm talking or someone else is talking, I will type in welcome. But I'll always try to go back and give you a verbal welcome. I don't care if I had 500 people in my show. I'm always going to welcome you because you guys did not have to make the choice, your choice, to be here supporting me and listening to me. You all don't have to do that at all. And I appreciate every last one of you. I try to read the comments because I know if you all going to take the time to type out the comments and everything, I should at least make the time to read them. So, and on that note, I'm going to catch up with some of the comments. Crazy Lady says, I don't know what I will do when I lose Jake. Jake is Crazy Lady's dog, who that dog loves her so much. And I'm going to tell you, pets, I look at my dogs and I just love them. Let's see. Ross' mom and dad was less than a year apart. His dad died of a broken heart. I'm sorry to hear that. Yes, photos are important and rave till I die. Okay. Woody Bush says, good day. Hope everyone's having a good holiday. Crazy Lady says, well, you do have the subjects to talk about. Well, thank you, Crazy Lady. Thank you, Shy Lady. I appreciate you. So again, one day we are all going to be that one that doesn't make it. We are going to be that one. But for the ones who didn't make it to the end of 2022, we should think about them. Hopefully something positive. And hopefully start a new year that is positive. That is thinking about the people who are around us. And Crazy, I just want to say to you, because I think about this, I've been thinking about this, your show that you were on, that girls trip. I enjoyed that show so much. I really, really did. And I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So thank you. Black Cabinet.
I'm here.
Did I put you to sleep?
No. Yeah, you have a lot to think about. What you were saying about when you're standing on the corner and you want to take that selfie or take that picture and all the other things. I think you're very very correct with everything you were saying. You don't know when the day or the hour that we're gonna punch that ticket. So we have to be able to express our feelings for our families um, and for the ones that we love on a day to day basis. Um, Getting all those things out, it's you never want to leave a person or that person leave you not knowing where you stood, not knowing if they really loved you, not knowing if they loved you or you love them. And so I think it's important that we get out our emotions and let them know. I think sometimes we also have to talk about the hard decisions in life as we are getting older. Since we're talking about life, I think we have to start having those conversations. We don't talk about our wishes too much. If something was to happen to me, what I want you to do with my remains, or what I'm hoping we'll do with our remains, or having those hard and deep and great conversations about what we want to do and how we want to be kept or anything like that. I think those conversations are needed in all communities and all people. So we are respected even in death as we were in life. There's a book I got. It's called Passed On, where it talks about how people have dealt with death throughout all lifetime. How some, even how they dealt with the death of babies to the death of to the elderly. I still, I like I said, for me, and that's just for me. I just think my quality of life is more than anything. I don't want to live in pain, and I just don't want to live being somebody's burden.
Hmm.
So I think for me, just I would rather, if I don't I just, and I don't want to think about it, but I don't want no one having to clean up after me if I cannot, maintain
Hmm.
myself. I don't want no one to have to prepare my meals if I can't make them for myself and feed me and things like that. It is a great gesture of love that someone would take care of you in that stage, and I thank whoever would do that. But I want them to live their best life, and I don't want the time of their best life to be taking care of me. So like I said, if they do come up with a fountain of youth and immortality, would I drink that drink? Oh yes, I would. I would love to be around as long as I could, just to find out what's gonna happen with this world and what's gonna happen with all of us. I would love to do that, but time is coming up, and I just really hope that I listen to what you said and take advantage of the days that we have with all our loved ones.
Well, there's two things I want to welcome Salty Sarcasm and welcome Ellie and welcome Bobby. Um, did I forget someone? And MQG, whoever you are, welcome. Um, oh, they are gone. There's two things I want to say about babies. Um, I don't want to say this has gotten popular, but I know two people who have had children and lost them when they were born. And they had a photographer come by and they took pictures of their child, um, you know, wrapped in the blanket, in baby clothes, whatever. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Um, that's a memory that people want to have. I also want to say that someone told me years ago. Thank you, Salty, for the gift, and Cabinet. Thank you also earlier for the gift. Um, Someone told me a couple of years ago, and it wasn't an older person. Um, they were in their 70s, um, who said that we were talking basically what Black Cabinet was saying about not wanting to have someone, as you get older, clean you up, change your diaper, feed you, whatever. And this gentleman told me that if your children are in the position of having to do that for you, just look at it as a role reversal, because you did that for them. And I know that it is a little different, but we changed our children's diapers. We cleaned up after them. We fed them. We did a lot for them. So he said, look at it like that. And I have been to nursing homes where I have seen family members, children, who absolutely don't want to have anything to do with their parents in that state. But I've seen others who lovingly are cleaning up after their parents. So I guess it all depends upon how you look at it. But Black Cabinet, I totally understand what you mean. I totally get that. I totally do. So did you want to comment or pass the mic?
Oh, the mic could be passed. That was my final thoughts.
Okay. All right. Crucible.
Yeah, I think everything you guys are saying makes sense, and it's things I've already kind of been knocking around in my own head as I get older, and I think it's important to live whatever quality of life. If you want to take a trip, you don't have anybody to go with, you want to go by yourself, go do it. You want to, like Black Cabinet said, take the selfie. If that is what defines quality of life to you, then you should absolutely do it. What I have found as I've gotten older is that's all well and good, but what I have tried to be more mindful of and to cherish of, and a lot of it because I'm trying to rectify past mistakes, is I choose to put my energy into trying to strengthen and maybe form uh, new bonds as best as I can. Try to preserve the friendships and the relationships and even increase them if that's possible. As you get older, you meet fewer people. So unless you're a joiner and you join clubs and you're actively pursuing other friendships, they're a little harder to come by. But I have decided that, the effort is important. You made a good point, Solid. You can only make so much effort. If the other people in your life, and it's whether it's because you dropped the ball early on and they haven't forgiven you, or they've put you in a category that's like, yeah, well, he's always been like this, and now he's calling me, kind of a thing. That's always a possibility, I guess. But if people don't see your value, as having you in their life, and you're always the one making suggestions, let's get together, making the phone calls, sending the text, and they're either lukewarm or indifferent towards you, that's a very hard thing to have to accept, but you can't force your value on people. They either see it or they don't. So as we get older, I think it's harder for people who don't have, like I had my family and kids and whatnot. Your unit is comprised of different people who may see the value in you differently. Your kids, your husband, your wife, that's a different dynamic as far as how they look at you. But people who don't have an investment in you per se as part of your immediate family, they can pick you up and set you down as they see fit. And that's the situation that I'm trying to avoid. I don't want to be at the mercy of whether somebody's in the mood to call me or not. And that's the thing I'm finding as I get older. You can make the effort, but you don't have the control, and that can be a little frustrating.
This is true. This is true. But that goes on one of the friendship shows. Because if someone tells you straight out that they're not calling you and waiting for you to call them, that's one-sided. Or the only time they do call you is when they want something, when they need help with
Hmm.
something.
And
When
I have people like that in my life.
when you are doing that, and it's, I just look at it like this. As I said, one day we're going to wake up and the person that you wanted to talk to, whatever, is not going to be there. When it comes to friendships or family, if you're that cousin that always calls let's see, can you guys hear me?
Now we can.
Okay. So, what was the last thing you guys heard? Anybody? What was the last thing you all heard? Okay.
Trying to remember.
Okay. Well, let's see. Okay.
I think I was wrapping up my comments, Solid, about putting in the effort and things like that, and you were kind of picking up on that. I don't know exactly what you're
Okay,
trying to
well
say.
then, maybe people on TikTok have already heard this, but basically, I was just saying that it takes two to tango. If you're going to consistently wait for someone to make the next move, and then when they don't do it because they're waiting for you to make the next move or whatever, or they're tired of waiting for you, and then if they do make the next move, you're like, oh well, I thought I thought something must have been wrong with you. No, it takes two, because then the people who, you know you have people who always wait for you to call them, and the only time they call you is when they want something, you know and and you just get sick and tired of it. And for me, I've just made the decision, I'm not putting in that effort anymore. So again, one day we will wake up or not, as I said. Some of us may have regrets if that person is no longer around. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But for me, I'm going to appreciate the people and things around me that I know have my back, that are putting in the effort, that actually want to talk to me. Do not wait for me and then blame it on me if if I don't call, and give some reason why they don't, but they didn't feel that way when they were calling me when they want something. But they're not comfortable to call me just to call me. But when you want something, all that, when you need help. So again, someday those people are not going to be there. When Crazy's saying yes, and Ellie is saying yes. Oh no, Crazy, it isn't just you. Okay, you all were talking about when you guys couldn't hear. So, well, Crazy is not is still not you about what we were talking about on your show before. So I mean, I'm just saying, it's I just think of of past friendships that I have had for people who have passed away. And I don't mean passed away recently. I'm talking about passed away when I was younger, and I miss those people. Those are people that I miss. Because we both put in the effort of being friends with each other. And again, I'm not talking about, like I said, loaning somebody money, or can I use your car, or, can I stay at your house or something like that. I'm talking about just, just texting every so often. Hey, what's up? Whatever. Instead of you always having to be the one to do it, somebody always waiting for you to make that first move. That gets old. That gets old really, really fast. And for me, I'm just done with it. So I don't know. But again, I'm just going to wrap up and just say, again, thank you guys for coming. I appreciate your support this entire year. 2023, I'll be going to my third year of podcasting. I'm having a blast. I'm having a lot of fun. And I also want to say for Shelby, I just, dropped a new episode on I Am My Own Story. Shelby was kind enough to share her story, so please check that out. And Shelby, I told you it was going to get a lot of hits. Um, so thank you. And Ellie says appreciating is really important, especially in relationships between couples. And Juju says, I have a friend who lived in Massachusetts. Her daughter talked her into moving to Florida. She recently called me and told me she feels like a rock, and they dropped her off in Florida. She is so lonely. She has a daughter, grandson, granddaughter, 5 grandchildren. They all live within 10 minutes of her, and she's so lonely. She's made arrangements to come back home. You know, Juju, I find that sad. And that's where I say, as you get older, if you feel comfortable staying at home or in a certain area, whatever, because maybe your family may not want to deal with you, but you have a friendship circle that does, then by all means, pack your bags and come back home, or don't leave in the first place. And she left her 89-year-old mother. Yeah, it's like, come home. Be around people who enjoy you. Because when your time is up, and we don't know when that time is, you want to be around the people who appreciate you, who truly appreciate you. Who truly want you in their lives, and they show it. They make the effort. So 10 minutes away, and they don't, I don't know. So, okay, everybody. On that note, again, this is my last show of the year. I will be back next Tuesday, which is the 3rd, I do believe it is. I will be traveling. I appreciate each and every one of you again, and I'm going to leave you guys with thank you, Ellie. You stay safe too. Where you are, you stay safe. Okay. I don't accept that. Crazy. What don't you accept? Crazy. If I can do a show, I mean, technically, when I travel, sometimes I do manage to do shows, but for this, I'm going to be in Chicago. I'm going to be in New York, and I know what I'm going to be doing, and I know I'm going to be having too much fun to do a show. But thank you, Crazy. Thank you. So on that note, guys, I'm going to leave you guys with this. And this is for all the ones, again, who didn't make it to the end of this year. And that's it. Have a good New Year's, everyone. And I'll see you next year. Bye.